Welcome to Making Love Real. And this is a part of our worship service where we talk about how individuals who, no matter what their religion or non-religion, how they make love in a very practical and real way. And today our guest is Craig Meyer. Craig is a chaplain at what hospital, Craig, are you at?
It's HonorHealth,
At HonorHealth in?
Thompson Peak Medical Center.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
I've been at this hospital about 3 years.
Okay. And how long have you been a chaplain?
I've been with HonorHealth about 11 years. Been a chaplain about 13 years.
Wow.
That would include my training. There's a 3-month internship at a hospital, plus a year residency at a hospital, and it went past a little bit on the residency. So if that's included, I was doing chaplaincy then.
So one of the things that
Banner University, which is good saying, but now it's Banner University. That's where I did my training.
Okay. So one of the things that at Beatitudes we say a lot is make love real. And one of the reasons why that is people will say, God is love, but then what does that look like? I can experience love from other people. So we believe that it's important that we make that love real for others. And I would imagine as a chaplain, you have a multitude of stories in ways that you make love real. So could you just share a couple of those with us on how do you make love real in your day-to-day work that you do as a chaplain?
Well, the most spiritually maybe intimate and drastic is obviously end of life. And I go to all end of lives that happen when I'm at the hospital, whether it's a code blue or withdrawal of life support or is planned or sudden, and I am with the family, and I sit with them and try to keep them calm and encourage them to ask questions, encourage them to call other family members. And my role is to walk beside them in the midst of this huge anxiety, in the midst of the suffering, and just I remain calm, I remain helpful. And it's usually not by talking. It's usually just by sitting and a ministry of presence, we call that.
Wow.
And
So
I make sure they're, I just make sure they're breathing and get some water. I say, why don't you have a drink? Why don't you sit down? And just simplistic things, but just they need somebody in the midst of the chaos just to sit with them. Because a lot of times you have one family member there, then they call the rest of the family, they don't show up till later. And so in that in-between time, I'm their family.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you saying is one of the most powerful ways that you can make love real for a person is just by your presence.
Yes. I'm not part of the medical staff. I don't have to give them medical news. I don't have to ask them any questions. My job is to be present with them. And if they need anything, I'll help them with that. But just be present beside them, helping them. I remain calm, which helps them to calm down, just having somebody beside them, other than medical people who have a very focused agenda.
Yeah. So I want to end on this question. There's not a lot of chaplains out there in the world. But how then would you take what you do by your presence, making love real? What advice would you have to a person who is a plumber, a caregiver, a student? How could they make their presence as a means of making love real for another person? What advice would you give for them?
Well, if the other person they're trying to help is in the midst of some kind of a tragedy, especially end of life, I would say the less talking you do, the better.
Okay. But how about just can you do that in just being a friend? Do you think that works?
I think it works. I think active listening, we're trained thoroughly on active listening and looking for the body language. Let's put it that, when I walk into a patient's room who's maybe asked for a visit, just whatever, they just want a prayer, I scan the room. I say, are there flowers? Are the window shades open? Are they active? Are they just laying there in the dark? Are they reading? I look at all the nonverbal signs before I even speak with them. And
Wow.
then I usually ask an open-ended question, inviting them to share, and I listen. And if they're talking more than me, then I'm doing my job.
See, now that we can end on that. If you're really going to be a good friend, it may mean less talking and more listening and picking
Absolutely.
up on the nonverbal cues.
Absolutely.
Wow, what a
Because it
powerful
usually
way.
takes a person a while before they say what they need to say.
Yeah.
And you
Well, that,
just need to grant them that time.
yeah, that is a powerful way, Craig, that you have shared with us on how you do it, but then how we can make love real for for other people. So, first of
Mm.
all, I want to thank you for that. And then for those of you who would like to hear more of the interview with Craig, you can go to our YouTube site, or through the church's website. You can have access to that. And you're going to hear some amazing stories about Craig's experience during the midst of COVID-19 and how he has experienced making love real in the midst of ultimate chaos. So thank you again, Craig, for your time.
Thank you.